गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्दपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य वरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परस्सतं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय अक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे। कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Now, with Bhagavan's grace, let us continue. We came up to Slokam number 14 in the 10th chapter, 2nd Skandam. Very briefly summarizing it, Puranam is, there are 10 characteristics, there are 10 lakshanangas, as they say. Each one of us is actually our story, as Bhagavan says, is a Puranam, except it doesn't fully qualify because Isanu Kata is not there, and then Asreya is not there. So that is why our stories are not really worth being told. But Bhagavan's stories, which the Puranas narrate, they have those 10 characteristics, the 10 lakshanangas, and Sargam, Visargam, we saw that, and Sargam, when all the three gunas, Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic, they're all in absolute equilibrium, that is called Prakriti. And when there is a movement and there's a disturbance in the equilibrium, from there, the disturbance comes because of Mahat Tattvam, and which, again summarizing, because we have not gotten together for a few days, is to give love and receive love, to give bliss and receive bliss. In order for that, I separated myself from myself, is what Bhagavan Swami says. So now, this disturbance, the very first act of creation is called Sargam, and in that, what happens? The Panchabhudangas are created. Now, each of the Panchabhudangas has a subtle characteristic. For example, the Akasam has got sound, the earth has got smell, water has got taste, fire has got form, and Vayu, the wind, has got touch. So these 5 characteristics that they have, correspondingly, so there is a total of 10. So 5 Panchabhudangas, the Tanmatrahigal, the subtle characteristics of each of those 5. Then correspondingly, there is the aspect that leads to smell and touch and hear and all that, right? So those are the other 5, which we call as the Pancha Indriyangas, right? And the Indriyangas are always externally bound. Then there is the mind and there is Ahamkara, ego. So this is the very first act of creation, the Sargam. From there, then the Visargam, the various manifold creations took place. Okay, so the Sukha was explaining to Parikshit the 10 characteristics of a Puranam like this, and then it then went into what happened in the Virata Purusha came. Figuratively, we say it is all a universal shell, a cosmic shell. A cosmic shell is nothing but a Hiranya Garbham. Garbham is a womb. Like we are familiar with the mother's womb. We all came out of our mother's womb. We are all nourished like that. All of us are living in the womb of the Divine Mother. And this is very important to understand, and because that's the truth. And all of us, that is why each one of us must share and parasparam. We get energy, we get life force from by interacting to each other. If I'm all alone, isolated, insular, I cannot be lively. So these are all that subtle proofs that we can gain from this inscrutable truth, which is all of us are in the same womb of the one divine mother. That womb is not a physical womb. What it is, it's a womb of prema. And this is what Hiranyagarbham is, Hiranyagarbham, because it is effulgent. The effulgence always has a golden hue about it. Then, in this Hiranyagarbham, Narayana, we covered that in the last session in Slokam number 11, and the significance of the term Narayana is so important. And in one sense, we finished that session, and one of my dear brothers listened to that, the efficacy and the significance of what Narayana means, and then after that, he attained the Lotus Feet of Narayana himself about 13, 14 days ago. Now, in the creation, moving on, in order to give love and receive love, in order to give bliss and receive bliss, visargam, we're talking about the varieties. You've got to have material objects, material things like the body, as we call it, right? Various objects. Then this is the gross objects, the material cause. Then there's an instrumental cause, like karma and like the gunas of nature, prakriti. Then time. These are the instrumental causes. I can apply this to my own life. Karma means not only action and not only its reaction, but also it means the efficacy of doing work. The reason I do the work, why work is given to me in order to give love and receive love. I must learn that. That is the perfection, art of perfecting, doing any piece of work. So those are the instrumental causes. And then Jiva, the one who is the enjoyer of all this, all these were created out of his own will, and they are not separate from him. But when Bhagavan ceases to, like when he goes into the Nirodha, we saw that, Pralayam, then everything ceases to be, everything gets suspended. Then this prema, this selfless love, absolutely pure love, that divided itself into three manifestations. Not three aspects, not three parts, because it is indivisible. Prema is indivisible, but three manifestations. Out of Viryam, Hiranmayam, out of its own out of its own energy, out of it by itself, it came to three aspects. These three aspects are the Adhyatmikam, Adi Daivam, and Adi Bhautikam. So we came up to that point in 14. Then Sukha continues, he explains what are those three, the Adi Daivikam, Adi Bhautikam, and Adhyatmikam. What are those three? Then again relate this to your own personal self, it will be easier to understand. Okay. The very first one is we all have senses. The senses have power, right? I have a mind. The mind has got its energy. We have a physical body, and the body also has got its energy or Shakti. So there are three types. The Vajaha, the words that are used are Vajaha, Saraha, and Balaha. Okay, Vajam, Saham, Balam. Vajas means the energy, the Shakti, the force of the senses. And Sahaha means the mental force, the force of the mind. And Balam, we all know, is physical strength. But all these three alone are not enough to make the body activate, right? So you've got to have a pranan, a life force that collects, that activates everything. We all know that from our own individual experience. So when this collective self, the pranan, works all the other things work. When the prana ceases to work, all the other things cease to work. Now, when Bhagavan, this is how the process of creation, to be able to give love and receive love. So the Indriyagal have been formed, the 5 elements have been formed, the Tanmatragal have been formed, and now this body has got several things. If there is a smell, if there is a taste, if there is a touch, correspondingly, I must have the same ability to smell and touch and all that with my own body, isn't it? So the very first thing that happened was a hunger and thirst. In order to quench the hunger and quench the thirst, from the face of the cosmic body, which is no different from your face and mine, when we are in our mother's womb, no different from it. The thing that came out in order to quench hunger and thirst, from the mouth came the palate. From the palate, the tongue came. Okay. Now, this tongue is in order to be able to drink water to quench thirst, in order to be able to eat, in order to quench hunger. So that is the place. I'm going to explain this a little bit detail, and all the other senses will follow the same way, and then we'll take up the slokams. Okay. Now, what does the tongue do? The tongue is called the adhishthanam, the place where this dance takes place, the Nataraja dance takes place. Of what? Of giving love and receiving love, giving bliss and receiving bliss. How is it so? The tool that is used is the tongue. The place is where the palate is, where the mouth is. Okay. Now, there is a divine force behind it, and the divinity that is acting behind it in this case is the Adi Daivam for the tongue is a Varuna. And then the organ is, the Indriya means here the organ. Organ is a tongue. And then the corresponding Vishayam or the object of let's say the perception, in this case the object of taste, is whatever the tongue tastes, right? Tongue cannot see a thing, but it can taste things, right? So these 5 things are very, very important. The place in which this divine dance takes place, it takes place on all our Indriyangas. And then the organ, the Vishayam, and the divinity behind it. These 4, plus the overall fundamental thing, which is the prana itself. Okay, so those are the total 5. The same thing is now going to take place in every one of our senses. Then the cosmic body, next slokam talks about we wanted to speak. So then the organ of speech came, the faculty of speech came, and the deity, the Daivam, the Adi Daivam for that speech is Vahni or fire. Then the breath was agitated. Then the nose came. Through the nostrils, air started moving. And air is nothing but a vehicle of smell. So in order to smell, then the nose came. Then to Bhagavan, when he separated himself from himself, he wanted to see himself also in so many various forms. For that, eyes came. So the place where the vision of the dance of vision takes place is where the eyes are. But the organ is the eye itself. And the Adi Devam there, as you know, is Surya. And the object, the Vishayangal, on which things that can be seen, we all know there are so many of them. Like that, the 5 senses came, and we will go through each slokam. The slokams are fairly easy to understand once you understand the message behind them. Okay? Now, slokam number 15. Antaha sarira akasate purushasya vicheshtataha vojaha sagaha balam jagye tataha pranaha mahan asuhu. Antaha sarira akasate purushasya vicheshtataha vojaha sagaha balam jagye tataha pranaha mahan asuhu. Antat sarira akasate. Akasam means space, and space is the space within our body is as vast and as big and exactly the same as the space outside. Okay, and you don't look at it in terms of quantity. Space, you have to look at it in terms of the quality. It is so subtle, and subtler than the space within us is Bhagavan himself, the most subtle, Sukshmam. So from that Purusha, Vicheshtataha, when by activating, he activated, what did he activated? Ojaha, the force, the energy, the Shakti of the senses. Sahaha, the force of the mind, mental force. Balam, the strength of the physical body. Jagye, he generated all these. Tataha, Pranaha, Mahan Asuhu. All those are fundamentally activated by prana, or the life force, or what we call as a life force. And prana is not just not limited to what is within our body. It is not a quantity of air. It is a life force, a yonihi. Because when the body ceases to be active, what we call as our death, the little bit of a small amount of air only goes out of the body, the final breath, and it blends and becomes one with the air around, and it becomes Brahmandam itself. It is not just the air as a physical thing. It is the essence of that air, which is the prana, which is a life force. That's the one that activates it. So that's what Antas Sarira Akasate Purushasya Vicheshtataha Ojaha Saha Balam Jagye Tataha Pranaha Mahan Asuhu. The indweller, the Atma, the Bhagavan, if you can look at it, scientifically, if you have a source of energy, and that energy radiates, and then we all know when the radiation goes there and then touches, let us say, a surface or a piece of paper or whatever it is, then there is vibration. And then after that vibration, there is a materialization. Could be, if you, for example, the sun, if you put a piece of paper and put a lens over it and the sun's energy goes into that paper, the paper actually burns, right? And it becomes ashes. So that is materialization. The vibration that takes place before it becomes ashes, that is one step. Then the step before that is the radiation of the energy itself. But the source, the energy itself is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is radiating, and then there's vibration. Materialization is what you and I are, our physical body are. Okay? So this, what Mahan Asuhu, this pranaha, then Jagme generated Ojaha Sahaha Balam. Okay? So now that is first point number 1. 16. Anuprananti yam pranaha pranantam sarva jantushu apanantam apananti naradevam iva anugaha. Anuprananti yam pranaha pranantam sarva jantushu apanantam apananti naradevam iva anugaha. Naradeva iva anugaha. Naradeva means king. Iva, like anugaha, the followers. How do the followers follow the king? The same way. Yam anuprananti, one who's being followed, this pranaha, pranantam, the life force, pranantam, when that is active, sarva jantushu, all the beings, all the senses, the mind, and everything else follows that, as long as there is life force. Apanantam apananti, the moment that life force ceases to be, everything else ceases to be. So we see this in our life. The moment that my life force goes away, my senses, my eyes are still there, the organ is there, but the eyes are not functioning, the nose is not functioning, skin is not functioning, right? That's what he means. So when the life force ceases to be, everything else ceases to be. Anuprananti yam pranaha pranantam sarva jantushu apanantam apananti naradevam iva anugaha. Number 17. Pranena kshipata chut trid antara jayate prabhoho. Chut trid antara is the way you'll see it on your book. So I'm breaking it up for you. Chut trid antara. Okay. Jayate prabhoho. Pipasataha jakshataha cha prang mukham nirabhidyata. pranena shipata shut trid antara jayate prabhoho pipasatah jakshataha cha prang mukham nirabidhyata. Now, prabhoho means Bhagavan here. This is we are talking of with Parampurusha. Okay? Now, pranena, with the vital life energy that is within, Kshipata. Now, when that life energy is activated and it becomes active, previously we saw, so long as it's active, everything else functions. If it's not, nothing else functions. But here, pranena Kshipata, when that life energy, that life force within is activated or becomes active, the Jayate, what happens immediately after that? Once Prabhoho, for this Param Purushan, who wanted to separate himself from himself in order to give love and receive love. Okay, so now this is where the Maya has come. The moment the so-called illusionary separation takes place, it's only illusion. It's not real. So immediately that takes place, correspondingly a few other things happen. So what is the first thing that happens? So Jayate from there, generated from that, Chut, hunger, Trid, thirst. So both these came about. You can see this in all beings, not only human beings, animals, everything has got thirst and hunger. Okay? Now, because this is like a working machine, this is our energy, right? We all know that. Now, because it came, Pipasataha, in order to wanting to quench the thirst, Chakshataha, desiring to eat, desiring to fulfill the thirst of hunger, both the thirst as well as hunger, Pipasataha, Chakshataha, in order to quench, desiring to nullify the call, the thirst as well as the hunger. What happened? Prang mukham, prang means prak. When you break it up, prak mukham, prak first, mukham the mouth, nirabidhyata, the mouth opened, the mouth was formed. In order to, why? Because in order to be a gateway to satisfy, to eradicate or to respond to the call of hunger and thirst. Okay, so mukham means mouth. So nirabhidyata, opened. Pranena Kshipata Sutrudantara Jayate Prabhoho Pipasataha Jakshataha Cha Prang Mukham Nirabhidyata. Then what happened? Number 18. Mukataha Talu Nirbhinnam Jihva Tatra Upajayate. Tataha Nanarataha Jagye Jigvaya Yaha Adhigamyate. Mukataha Talu Nirbhinnam Jihva Tatra Upajayate. Tataha Nanarataha Jagye Jigvaya Yaha Adhigamyate. Now the mouth has come, but mouth alone cannot do. So Mukataha, from that, within that, from that mouth, Talu, what we call as a palate. Nirbhinnam, it was generated, it was created. From the mouth, the palate was created. Now the palate manifested what? Jigva tatra upajayate. The tatra there in that palate, Jigva, the tongue, upajayate, came about. Tataha, from that tongue, nana rasaha, different types of tastes, jagye, manifested. We all have 5 or 6 types of tastes, I think. Okay, so those tastes were manifested. Jagye, they were all born, manifested. Jigvaya, by the tongue. The tongue was created, and then the tongue manifested nana rasaha. Yaha, which adhigamyate. So the tongue can grasp and relish these various types of tastes. Mukataha talu nirbhinnam jigva tatra upajayate. Tataha nanarasaha jagye jigvaya yaha adhigamyate. Now, number 19. Vivakshoho mukataha bhumna vagnihi vat vyahrutam tayoho jale vai tasya suchiram nirodha samajayata. Vivakshoho Mukataha bhumnam, bhumno or bhumnaha, Vaknihi vak vyahrutam tayoho, jale vai tasya suchiram nirodha samajayata. Now, so this takes care of, now the mouth has been formed for this body in order to take care of thirst and hunger. Now, vivakshoho, at the same time, this is very important. And Bhagavan is, we call him a Characharamayi, Anandamayi, and also Sabdhamayi. Bhagavan is manifesting as sound. So here, Vivakshoho, when there was a need to speak, because Bhagavan is going to move about, manifest himself as sound. So when that need arose, Mukataha, in the face, Bhumnaha of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is not, we're talking of gross formation. The gross formation, we apply it personally. We can apply it in a subtle way, it's got another meaning there. But just to make it personalize it, each one of us is a form of Bhagavan only. So, and we have a mouth, we have a palate, we have a tongue, we can taste things. We also have a desire, a need to speak. So what happened? So, Vakni, the controlling deva, the devam, the devata, for this is fire. Vakni is a fire that controls our speech. Vak means vibrations, which means the sound vibrations. Vyahrutam is speech. Vyahrutam and vak are two different things. Vyahrutam is what we call a speech. Now I can also create other types of sound vibrations from my mouth. The birds and all that, they don't have what we call as Vyahrutam, speech, but they do create sound vibrations. So here, vak, Vyahrutam, both are important. Tayoho, both were created, okay, from the mouth. Jale vai, tayoho means both. Jale vai tasya suchiram. Now in this situation, Bhagavan laid for a very long time. Suchiram means for a long time. You can now compare this to the time we spend in our mother's womb. Now that is, in a cosmic way, that is much, much longer. Nirodha. So the faculty of speech was in a suspension, and the suspended mode. Nirodha means it was suspended as samajayata, as the creation continued. So from Bhagavan's face, mouth, tongue for taste and for quenching the hunger and thirst, and then the desire to speak. Now for hunger and that tongue to quench hunger and thirst, that is Varuna, is a Daivam. Okay. Now for the speech, when you needed to speak, the same tongue can also provide the function of speech. That is why it has got two functions. Okay, the tongue, and that's why it's mentioned very right in the beginning. Okay, and that's the only organ in our five senses of perception that can do two things. Okay, so here, in order to speak, the same tongue can also, under the divine control of Agni, the fire, which is the controlling deity for speech, it can create sound and speech. And this is how the process of creation started, from Sargam to Visargam. And then we will take up the next slokam and continue with the smell and the vision and the hearing and all that in our next session, which with Bhagavan's grace we will do next Monday. Okay. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.